Today on the show, we'll take a closer look at the talks ahead of Nigeria's new Minister of Defense, retired General Christopher Musa. His appointment comes at a time when Nigeria and the sector is under pressure to deliver better coordination, stronger responses, and better security for citizens of the country. What should Nigerians expect from this transition, and where should the minister begin? We'll take and unpack these questions on the program today. I am Emmanuel Ajayi. Welcome to StandPoint. The new Minister of Defense, retired General Christopher Musa, has now officially assumed duty. As many will recall, General Musa served as the Chief of Defense Staff until October 2025, a position that placed him at the center of joint operation and inter-service coordination. The transition from the military command structure to political and administrative leadership of the Defense Ministry now comes with a different level of responsibility and expectation. Now, speaking shortly after taking charge, he declared that the era of shedding innocent blood is over, emphasizing that the priority will be to strengthening Nigeria's security architecture and delivering a more coordinated responses.
The buck stops on his table. We must provide that support to make Nigeria peaceful. Shedding of innocent blood is over. Our children should be able to go back to school. Our farmers should be able to go back to their farms. We must address these issues on ground. Most of the challenges we are facing is not military solution. There are issues of good governance, justice, equity, and fairness, which we are going to encourage. So it's going to be a holistic aspect. The non-kinetic and the kinetic must work hand in hand. We cannot afford to fail Nigerians, especially ourselves. They say charity begins at home. I believe it's the mindset. If we have that mindset that we will succeed, we will succeed. To the service chiefs, I offer my full support and expect your utmost cooperation to move the armed forces to greater heights. To the Permanent Secretary and the Civil Service cadre, you are the institutional memory and the framework for our sustainability.
Joining me to examine the talks ahead of the new Minister of Defense is a corporate security consultant and public intellectual, Dr. Jonathan Isaac. Thank you so much for joining us on StandPoint. All right, lads, can you hear me loud and clear? Hello, Dr. Jonathan, are you there?
I'm there. Thank you. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you. Well, the Minister of Defense said the shedding of innocent blood is over in the country. That is coming from retired General Christopher Musa as he assumes duty. What do you make of his new role at the moment, and what are the expectations?
Well, thank you once again for having me in your program. The new Minister of Defense, General Musa, retired. It's a man with vast experience, and over the years, he has been able to write his name in gold. If you look at the news making headlines, the moment His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu announced him as the candidate or as a nominee to be screened by the National Assembly for the position of the new Minister of Defense, it showed that there was this celebration across the country, signifying that he is a man after the heart of so many Nigerians. He's a man after the heart of Nigerians in IDPs. He is a man that they understand, he knows the job and understands the workabilities of the military. And so beyond the press statement, beyond the wonderful speech of intent, it is time for us to hit the bad guys across the region and then restore the integrity, the territorial integrity of our country called Nigeria. So the agenda for the ministers are enormous, but first, as we approach the festive season, he must first and foremost, restore that integrity of our nation's territorial beads. And upon that, not until that is done, we will not have the trust that so much Nigerians has given to him. So I think away from the celebrations, it is time for him to act. It is time to reposition the Nigerian security architecture. It is time for him to come up with policies. And then, with all the vast experience in the theater front, it is time for him to also guide the military in the best way to having success and victories in their fight against terrorism and banditry.
Oh, quick one. Let me take you back to when it was screened at the Senate. General Musa was emphatic about zero tolerance for negotiations with bandits. How easy or difficult will it be for him to fight insecurity at a time when families and communities are still paying ransom for the release of their kidnapped victims?
Please come again with your question, please.
Well, quick one. Let me take you through when it was screened at the Senate. He was emphatic about his zero tolerance for negotiations with bandits. How easy or difficult will this be for him in fighting this insecurity at a time when families and communities are paying ransom for the release of their kidnapped victims? Okay,
I can barely hear from your mic here, but the understanding of your question, if I could understand my thoughts towards your question, can give you a perfect answer onto our viewers, a perfect answer to your questions. I would say that it won't be a difficult task for General Musa Shaibu, retired, now as the Minister of Defense, to tackle headlong issues of insecurity anymore if Mr. President, whom I'm giving him this opportunity and this task, will also give him the presidential support as the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces to actualize the goal of the Nigerian people. If by today, Mr. President give directives like we have seen in the past and said the bandits in Zamfara state must be quashed, they must be, be fished out from the forest. That is already a marching order. And it calls for a consummate marching actions. Not just with on paper, not like press release, but then most times, like we have experienced in the past, when these marching orders are given to the military or even to the police, you will see that days after that, nothing changed, nothing happened, and it falls back to a thought of mine sometime, and I have to ask a question that enough of the marching order, that it is time for us to engage in marching action. And so I don't see it difficult for the new Minister of Defense, General Musa, retired, to carry out these marching actions, because he has been there, he knows the bad guys, he knows the weaknesses of the military, he knows where they are falling short of their duties. So it's an opportunity for him to exhaust all that is expected to do within the military, just like he failed, he couldn't achieve in the past. Yes, in the past, he was able to do a few things. But now he has a whole lot of things on his table. He will act, he will be able to now use his office to bring interagency collaborations with the military, the paramilitary, and even the civilians, the Nigerian populace, to see how they can achieve intelligence gathering to mitigate some of these challenges.
Absolutely. Dr. Isaac, can I establish the fact with you that you can hear me loud and clear at this time?
Yes, I can hear you now. I can hear you now.
Absolutely, absolutely. Earlier I said about him ensuring that we are saying no to paying of ransom and ensuring that kidnapped victims are released in the country. Now, away from that, let me quickly take you through the method used, the non-kinetic method used in fighting terrorism in Nigeria. Is this method really working, or do we need to introduce a kinetic method to ensure we reduce crime to the barest minimum in the country?
Well, the kinetic approach that we have engaged, we've engaged over the years. Sometimes we get the result. Most times it is counterproductive. I give you an instance this afternoon. Some years ago, there was this mishap around the Kaduna axis, down to Adamawa, and across the northern state, there was this mishap. And that has affected largely, even down to people in IDPs are not safe. Because the kinetic approach that the military, adopted was more of attacking the innocent Nigerians, where you hear 100 people are being killed and no terrorist is going to be killed. You are going to send, you are sending missiles and all of that, but rather we, the innocent Nigerians and the law-abiding Nigerians, are at the end of it, at the receiving end of it. So I am aware that the current Minister of Defense, General Musa, Shabu retired, is a man that understands the workability of the military. So he won't go just kinetic. He will want to, bring more of intelligence gathering, collaborations with the intelligence agencies, and to bring more strategic, defensive strategies, and then to how we can restore the dignity of our force. Because for me now, it is now time for him, to bring the force together, because from the Navy, from the Air Force, from the military, they are operating at different bases. So until he's able to bring them together and joint task force, yes, we have joint task force, but then I think there's need for him to rejig the entire system and then to bring the best. Some of it is already yielding results. This afternoon, we are hearing reports of how the joint task force have rescued some victims of kidnapping along in Orokam in Benue State. That is Benue South, in a border bordering Enugu State. That is Denge, that we have heard this afternoon. So with what is happening, it's expected that intelligence should be activated. Yes, we can go kinetic often, but that means it has to be targeted towards actualizing the result, not when you fire missiles and drones and all of that, and then the people at the receiving end are innocent Nigerians in IDPs. People that are finding their foot on how to feed and other things are the people that will be killed, and every day we have to go on mass burials. It happened in Kaduna. We have seen it happen. Okay. So why we would converse for, or what we advise that we should use intelligence driven approach to get the best of it. I will also say that if we must be kinetic, if we must go kinetic, it should be targeted, okay, precise, concise, to meet the goal, not just targeting, or not just about firing okay, just because you intend to show that yes, you are on seat now. So yes, you boost the morale of the military, the personnel to go headlong, go combatant, but they must adopt this intelligence approach. They must adopt these strategies of the intent of provisions of security is not at the expense of the innocent lives of Nigerians in the streets, in their communities, or in IDPs. It is taking the bad ones amongst them.
Just a moment. You'll continue with your line of thought. We'll take a break at the moment. And when we come back, we'll talk more about the method we use in fighting insecurity in Nigeria. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome on the program. I still have Dr. Jonathan Isaac on the program this afternoon as we examine the role the Minister of Defense is playing at the moment to ensure that insecurity is nipped in the bud at this time. General Musa served 38 years in service before his new role. How would this appointment impact the position of the United States of America recently designated Nigeria as a country of particular concern?
Yes, some weeks ago, the news was everywhere, and Nigerians, which are at the receiving end, after that pronouncement by the by the President Donald Trump, the United States of America, who designated Nigeria as a country of particular concern. Yes, but then I look at the pronouncement to be more, it's what we call a situation in economics where you try to solve the problems, and in the process you created more problems. That is what we call Cobra effect in economics. His intention was to call on the Nigerian government, which we see actions of. After that pronouncement was made, we see actions of Mr. President trying to prove a point that say, yes, I'm still the commander, I'm still in charge, I'm still the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. I have the capacity if only you can give support. And that partnership arrangement was better, as we have seen. But Nigerians who have been suffering all this over the years feel like the president and his team should just come today, because it was long overdue that this has been happening, and we've not gotten that kind of statement before. Rather, just seasonal support that there comes, and then we don't feel the impact much, and Nigerians were feeling it is long overdue. So that intention, that apprehension was all over the country, and they felt that Donald Trump can come with his people then now, but they don't understand how this thing works. No country will be invaded. Nigeria is a sovereign nation. You don't invade Nigeria unannounced without partnership and all of that. So I think the partnership arrangement will be more better if only we can adopt that concept. And with the new Minister of Defense, he has room to provide that partnership. He has room for him to also say, yes, we are equal to the task. All we need from you is support with intelligence, support with gadgets. We need all of this support. And if we get this support and we are not utilizing it, or we are not using it, that is where you can find the country, as a culprit in this instance. But there, he has come on board. I am sure that he will be able to, demonstrate that capacity. And like I said clearly in my opening remarks, that beyond the intent, the statement of intent, the press statement, it is time for him to act. So the goal is there, the ball is there, and the field is there. I'm sure he will deliver, because Nigerians are already giving him support. Nigerians we've not had a Minister of Defense at a point where every Nigerians are so happy that they got it right this time around. If you are a journalist, if you go around the country, you will see the level of jubilation, you will see the willingness of Nigeria to give support and to give that information, because they have come to see a leadership that they now believe in. And so if the trust between the Nigerian people and the military now exists, then it is just going to be very minimal that we will be having few bad eggs among us. But now I'm sure that with his leadership, he would be able to, provide that leadership and that support, that intelligence support to give to actualize the goal of the Nigerian people.
I love the fact that you're one of those Nigerians that are quite optimistic about the performance of the new Minister of Defense. Now, let's quickly look at this angle. Working as a team with other security agencies is crucial at this point, talking about data, intelligence gathering, and zero tolerance for corruption. What do you make of this development?
Yes, the General Musa Shaibu retired that we know, he's a man that even when as the Chief of Defense Staff, when it comes to this interagency rivalry as we used to see in the past, it was not there. He was free to sharing information and ready to also get information. If you look at what happened in Benue State after the Yelwata genocide, you see that he was able to come along with other security chiefs to see how they can share data. The share node, and all is for the purpose of intelligence and data sharing. That's why I told you that it will be easier for him to partner with our intelligence agencies to get data and intelligence. That is the goal of our national security. And at the end of the day, everybody will go home happily. The position of the Chief of Defense or the Minister of Defense is not just any position. It's a position that is directed towards actualizing national security policy. So if, at the end of the day, he failed the Nigerian people, then it will become very hard for Nigerians, the ordinary Nigerians, to not trust the leadership of the force going forward. Because if you see what happened in Yelwata, when he went to Benue State, the people opened their hands, they welcomed him, shared, data with him, and also the intelligence agencies, including the Inspector General of Police, they were all there. And that's why I told them that, during that time, I advised that we should sustain the tempo. It shouldn't be because Mr. President was going to Benue State, it should end there. We should be able to sustain the tempo because security is not just a one-day operation. It is a continuity, sustainability that will take us there. Now, it's no longer Yelwata. Nobody knows the next attack. But when we see the military, with the joint effort of the police, the NIA, the DSS, coming together with this, intent of collaborations to actualizing security for the people of Nigeria, over time, we will begin to get to result, just like we're already experiencing. You notice that the moment the Chief of Army Staff was taken off from power, or the moment he resigned, resigned his position as the Chief of Defense Staff, then there was this upsurge. The military, the bandits were having a free day. A lot of allegations, suspicions were all over the net. We began seeing this regrouping of these insurgents, and it calls for concerns. And today I want to also commend His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, for that, swift actions to have, quickly say, look, this is a man for the job. Okay. In as much that he resigned as the Chief of Defense Staff, it is time for me to give him the opportunity to go and, practicalize his expertise in the theater, his competence, and all that he has learned over the years. I think he has the opportunity, he has the capacity to reposition the military, Nigerian military and Nigerian security in the best light.
He has the duty now to ensure that Nigeria is safe. But quick one before we let you go. What do you make of the welfare of troops? Talking about operational allowances, accommodation, compensation of those who died in active service. This is what General Musa raised when he assumed duty as the Minister of Defense.
Please, the last question again, please. Come again with it, please.
I'm talking about the welfare of troops. Talking about their operational allowances, accommodation, compensation of those who died in active service. General Musa raised this when he assumed duty as the Minister of Defense.
Yes, boosting the morale of our security operatives will come in various means. I am sure that he has been in the system, he has been in service, he feels the pains of those that died in active service. He knows what our troops go through on daily basis. So even up to the date, which I know it still does exist, the debacle allowances of even our retired, veterans has still not been paid. Even though we heard that some has been paid, he has the opportunity now, and we are expecting it in good faith that he will do justice to boost the morals of our security, of our soldiers, to have is not an opportunity. He has the opportunity now to now reposition the thought process of what our military believes that if you suffer in this country for 35 years or eventually you are killed, there will be no compensation. And if this thought continue to now elude amongst the personnel, among the rank and file, then there will be no better approach, there will be no better input. So he has the opportunity, and I believe strongly that he will do justice to, give them their allowances, pay the debacle allowances, ensure that our veterans are given the best of, opportunities, even in their communities.
It's a fine place to live it. It's a fine place to live it. A security consultant, Dr. Jonathan Isaac. Many thanks for joining us on the program this afternoon.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
And that's it on StandPoint this week. Remember, you can watch a repeat broadcast at 11 p.m. tonight and at 5 a.m. on Sunday morning. Thanks for watching. I'm Emmanuel Ajayi.